So my first 3 years has been divided into almost like three compartments. Then I grew up in the UK, and then I've always had this like urge to come back to Tanzania because I was just struggling a lot. I was trying to show up, but I was really struggling, and I absolutely hated my job. Third year's worth at. Hi guys, it's been Memoirs. It's been a little while since I've recorded a video. On my YouTube channel, I speak about an international career and designing your life where you use a career internationally as sort of the way forward. That's things about financial literacy and my experience as someone who works in international development. So today I want to just give quick updates about my 3 years in Tanzania. I came back to Tanzania, which is my home, 3 years ago. I think I made a video, if you look back into my videos, where I discussed that I wanted to come back home. I was born here, and then I went back to the UK when I was like 10. Then I grew up in the UK, and then I've always had this like urge to come back to Tanzania. So I started working in the international development sector as a way to find my way back, like sustainably. So I talked about that. There's a video about how I love living here. But right now I want to discuss what my 3 years has been like. So my first 3 years has been divided into almost like three compartments. First year was a struggle. Not a struggle enough for me to like leave, but a struggle that I just felt like things weren't going my way. But I think that's normal to any move or shift in life. Like if you are moving to a new country, usually there's an adjustment period. It might be some fun sometimes, because I had a lot of fun back in 2021, 2022. I was doing the most. I still didn't really feel like up to pace, and I wasn't used to the culture, even though I am Tanzania. I miss my family, miss my friends, so there was a lot of things going on, and I feel like a lot of my dreams and goals I had coming back weren't coming back fast enough. I was really impatient. By the time I was in a relationship, I'm in a relationship, but at the time I just started a relationship with somebody, and also just didn't feel like we were really aligning on what we wanted in a relationship. So there was a lot of things that were happening. So I think the first year I called it the adjustment year because I was just struggling a lot. I was trying to show up, but I was really struggling, and I absolutely hated my job. The truth is, I couldn't say that at the time on video because I was trying to like promote you guys to get into international development. But even in this sector, there are crap jobs. There are jobs out here which are just like, why? I was in a really bad job. I was working with, I don't want to give them a bad name because they're really great. These guys are so good, but it's just the office. I was working for the Innovation Poverty Action, IPA. Some of you already in development will know, but I did not like the manager. Struggled to see what was the point of the whole thing. They kind of just wanted the program I was working on just funding. It wasn't like they actually had any plans with it, so it was just a struggle. I felt like it was a waste of time. And so it was job, it was, I wasn't really keen on the relationship side of it. I mean, things are good now, and it was like adjustment, and I had no money. Actually, that's one thing I have to say. I didn't plan well enough, even with all my planning, in terms of how much it cost me to move back here. I bought back maybe like £3,000. What I actually needed was like 5 and 10. Buying a car, paying for rent, which is actually quite expensive if you're trying to live in an expat area. And just like the life that I lived in the UK, I wanted to keep that up, and I just didn't know how to adjust. Anyways, we're going to second year. Second year now is 2022. I'm getting my mojo. I'm going to stand in Tanzania. I'm going into like more or less expaty shops, getting things cheaper, and kind of finding my vibe and my vogue a little bit. So 2022 was fun. I dedicated that year to be a year of just like fun. I was just like, literally, I had plans every weekend. I was going to boat parties, I was going hiking. I was just like, we're gonna have fun. The second year was good. I kind of wanted to ignore the things that were bugging me by just having fun. Third year's where it's at is where I feel like I did a lot of healing and a lot of dedicated decision making. So one of the things I came back home for was to set up myself a home. I wanted to buy an apartment so that whenever I decide to come back or not come back, like let's say if I decide to leave again, I can always have a home. We didn't have a home when my parents left when I was younger. So I got the signal when I came back in 2023 from the UK. There was an apartment being sold, and I went for it and I bought it, and I secured it with a mortgage, which is a whole process of its own. 2023 is also when I got my new job, currently working at that right now, with a foundation, looking at things I really care about, which is sector transformation, industrial policy. So I was, a new team, and things were great, and like new vibe. Like, it was just great. It was so much better as an organization compared to where I was working in. And my relationship started getting better. I think we both started doing some healing, we started some alignment, started to understand each other more. Even though we were different cultures, obviously, we really were like looking at that we were in the same mission. So that started to feel better in 2023. Felt settled. I felt at home. I still feel at home. Like it's been good. My 3 years lessons in moving back home. If you are a diaspora trying to move back home, first thing I'll do is save a lot of money. Like, don't underestimate. Just because it's a poor country does not mean it's not expensive. I think I talk about it in my video, of which I talk about how 5 things I don't like about living in Tanzania. One of them is the cost. So not cost of living, the cost of goods. So things which are basically quite cheap in the UK will cost you double, triple in Tanzania and in a lot of developing countries. Save that money. The third thing I would say is be patient with yourself. It does take a while to settle in a new country. I feel like if you come with a job, sometimes the job doesn't come out as everything you want it to be. If you're there for a long term and you have to really think long term, then you'll figure it out. You'll find a new job, you'll find out what the market is like, you'll find out where you can fit in, you find out what kind of organizations you can work for, and you figure it out. And that's what I did. And the third thing is, I guess, just to enjoy. Apart from the money saving, just be open-minded. Like, I made a lot of friends, but that's just my natural self anyway. I make friends quite quickly, but be open-minded to who you meet, because you never know what they're going to be the next best friend or your adventurer friend or your employer. Be open-minded, learn about the culture. For me, it's not a new culture, I already know it, but even as a diaspora, I still had to have a lot of learning. Like, there were things I just didn't know was a big deal. So that's really my 3 years, and it's been one of the best decisions I've made in my life, including one of me trying to apply for a job with ODF fellowship. So I would completely recommend it. If you are looking to go back home, just take the chance.